Hey everybody, how's it going? Today is December 28th, 2024. It's our last Monster Strike news of the year, and it is not a Thursday, but rather a Saturday where we get to see what is coming up for us in the new year of Monster Strike. But before that, we do have a little bit of other news to go over, so let's get through that. And I'm gonna fly through a bunch of these because we have almost 65 slides to go through, which is 2 times the usual amount of slides. So let's get going. We got Monster Strike Day coming up, so don't forget about that. We've got 2 Juushinka Kais to announce. First, we got Toyotomi Hideyoshi here. If you want to take a look at his stats, go ahead and pause the video and take a look at it here. But I'm just going to move on to the next one, which is going to be Ebisu, who gets a Juushinka Kai as well. She gets a nice smash up of her forms to get a nice ability here, I think. Again, I'm gonna fly through this as well. Take a look. It should be probably ready by the time this video comes out, or at least around when it comes out. So hopefully enjoy it, because it will be live tonight at 10 p.m. Japan time, and you can use her right away to your desires. So let's see how she turns out. Now, what is important are the upcoming end of the year gachas, and Shiro said he's going to do his video tomorrow. I am going to try to do my video as well, watch it and post a video to make sure that you guys can figure out what you need to do for that. But it will start right away because we've got the end of the year gacha rundown starting on the 29th with the only alpha and the first get gacha, followed by the playback 2024 gacha, and then we have our all stars plus a new gacha with the final. If you want to do the Geki Jushinsai Guardians gacha one more time, you can do that. So let's go over them one by one real quick. So 29th, you're going to have the only alpha gacha, and this one features a gacha where the 6 stars are only alpha monsters. You are guaranteed 1 alpha monster as part of this pull, but you can only do 1 temple on that. The rate is 12%, and of course it costs orbs, so be careful about that. The other gacha that is available for you on the 29th is going to be the first get gacha. This guarantees you to get a new 6-star monster, and limited monsters are possible in the pool of 6 stars that you can get. Now remember, it's only the last one that's guaranteed to be new. Anything else along the way could be a repeat, but the last one is new. You can only do this once, and it's at 12%, and of course it costs orb to pull. Now, in my opinion, neither of these should be a primary reason to pull. For example, if you have a specific set of alpha monsters that you would like, or you have a very low pool of monsters that you do not have, then perhaps this gacha or the alpha gacha would be attractive. But in overall, probably not the best way to spend your orbs unless you have the leeway or the wallet to absorb such a hit. So my suggestion would be to pass. On the 30th, we have the 2024 playback gacha. This one allows you to pull on a gacha which only includes monsters that were released in 2024, which is pretty a nice paring down of the pool, which does make it quite attractive. You can do up to 2 temples, and how this works is your first temple will be in a pool of the monsters that were released from January to June of 2024. Once you do that pool, you'll be pushed into the second half, which will give you a pool of the monsters who were released in July through December 2024. Now do note that you must pull the first half from January to June before you can pull the second half, which gives you the July through December one. You can't pick and choose, switch swap. That is not possible. Now, in each temple you do, you are guaranteed 1 monster, and of course limiteds are possible as well. So it's a pretty good gacha to pull on, to be honest. It is a 12% chance. Again, all 6-star monsters are in that pool of months released. So for this one, I would say it is actually preferable to pull of all the rest. I believe that was my conclusion last year as well, and I don't think that changes and I'm assuming it's going to be the same from what Shiro will announce tomorrow. But again, don't forget, this costs orb to pull, and you are doing 2 full temples if you're doing both sides. So be careful if that is what you want to do. And then on New Year's Eve, you will have 2 more gachas, well actually 3 more gachas to watch out for. First is the All Stars gacha. This one allows you to do 2 temples on this, and this one On your first temple, you are guaranteed 2 monsters, and then your second temple, you are guaranteed 3, with one of them being limited. This one, your gacha pulls are, fully transcended, leveled up, and super typed as well. But this is also a 12% gacha. You are guaranteed a little bit more this time, but you are still spending orbs to do that, so please be careful about that. Now, if you decide to finish the All-Star Gacha, then this third gacha comes up, which is the All-Stars After Party. And this allows you to do a single temple while picking a element. And when you pick that element, you are guaranteed to get a limited monster in that element. Now, the problem with this is you are picking an element, not a gacha. So it is any limited characters that matches that element, which is not as great as picking a limited monster from that elemental limited gacha. So I do not think this is a good gacha at all. Maybe I'm missing something, but it's just there's too many misses that can come with it by only picking an element. So I just don't see the benefit in this. So my suggestion is to not worry about it. If Shiro says anything different tomorrow, then I'll correct myself, but I just do not see a benefit to this gacha. That's my advice for now. And then last but not least is the Geki Juushinka Kai gacha. This will be available on New Year's Eve as well. You are able to do a single pull and a 10 pull at a 24% rate. After that, it'll go back to the usual 12%. But the first single and first 10 pull you can do will be at 24%. And of course, it does cost orbs to pull on this. So I highlight that in red because I just want to make it absolutely clear that by doing these gachas up to the New Year's, you are spending your precious orbs, which you could be saving for New Year's Day. It is up to you to decide. And again, like I said, I will try to have a video up giving my suggestion, taking into account what Shiro suggests on his video to make sure you have the most informed decision you can make. Now, let's go to the New Year's. This is what we have been waiting for the last few weeks. Who is going to be the new OP for 2025 on January 1st, 000 Japan time? Cho Juushinka Kai will have the New Year's gacha. Well, with every New Year's gacha, we have this EX bonus. You can see that every 10 pull you'll do, you'll get not only 5 copies of 5 stones and 500 soul points, but you'll also get 5 of the items in that pool of 10 there. Do note that we do have the dice there. Keep in mind that the super nice items really does come at a rare stock, so don't expect to get too many dice out of it, but it is cool to see that in there. Now, I happen to do only single pulls. You'll just be getting a Morling there, so do 10 pulls. You get some nice items out of that. Now, who is our OP? If you haven't watched the video, release video of the character, I would highly recommend go watch that. But for those of you who did, L will be our new character. L, she seems to be some kind of like descendant, but it's like carrying on the spirit of Lucifer there, right? So she's taking that L there and making her name. I think she looks really awesome there. I'm a fan of short hair as well, so a plus there. But cool to see a nice descendant of Lucifer. I think it's pretty cool. So let's take a look at her, and the transcended form is pretty darn nice. The gacha for the New Year's will last until midnight, or 23:59 at the 7th of January. So got a whole week to try and chase after her. Hopefully we can. So we have 2 modes available for L here. We got first with the Fallen mode here, and well, looks pretty awesome. Let's take a look at her abilities here. We got super anti-damage wall, anti-block, all element killer on the main, as well as null element resist M. On the gauge, you got super anti-transport wall and 2 new abilities. We've got anti-speed down panel and attack turn killer M. We'll talk about those 2 abilities on the next slide so that you understand what's going on there. For the shot skill, this is pretty darn good. Remember, shot skills activate every time this character shoots, except when the strike shot is active. She will make the first hit friendly unit move like the command strike shot. Yes, you heard that right. And basically, you can think of it as like you're playing billiards, right? Like you hit the unit, and then it's gonna bounce off as if you hit it in a pool hall, right? Um, and it moves. That's pretty insane. I believe the bump combo does not go off when you do that, but having two characters move at all times, I mean, there could be stages where it's bad, but in general, this is going to be a very good addition to have. So I think that's insane. The assist skill also pretty good. If L Fallen mode here gets powered up, so does that monster. What? Okay, so just another way to just have you get another character powered up. That's pretty darn insane. So that's cool to see. Really gonna be interesting to see how this changes the dynamics of things, because you're gonna have to be careful about that shot skill sometime. But in general, that just sounds so strong. Strike shot power up and rarely speeds up on wall hit, and it's rarely, it says in Japanese mareni, but honestly with this strike shot it is not very rare. It happens fairly reliably, so it's a strong strike shot, I'm sure. So can't wait to see that action. Bump combo, we've got radial edge, we'll talk about that in the next slide as well as Chozetsu defense down blast. She is also a super speed type, so she's going to be moving around clearly very nicely. So let's take a look at those three new abilities in details. First, of course, is the anti-speed down panel. If you haven't played, I believe it was the Bakuzetsu quest where they introduced these speed down panels. This isn't the conveyor belt, by the way. It is the actual panel here that has like static electricity or something, and if you go over that, you just kind of like stop. It's like, why did they add this? And just have another way to get it, but we're just gonna have a new null ability, and I am a little afraid that this is gonna be something that pops up. I wouldn't expect it to just infest the game really quickly. I think the worrying point is you start seeing that buff list of like all these characters that now has anti-speed down panel. That might be the point at which we start seeing that ramp up, right? More new gacha characters, more new drop monsters, more new collab characters that start snowballing the anti-speed down panel ability. That's when we should start get worried that this is going to be a staple and maybe the new meta of 2025. But for now, I think we should be fine, except for the super hard stages. Attack turn killer. Now this is pretty cool. This is a killer ability that applies to a monster who is about to attack that turn. And what that basically means is if that monster has a 1 on any of its attack counters, then it is going to be applicable for the attack turn killer. Pretty cool. Like 2x killer, right? Damage. So this will be interesting. I think you'll get a lot of power out of this. And then the final new thing that came out with L there was the radial edge bump combo. And basically it fires 3 piercing shots that once it hits a wall will then radially shoot out 7 shots in all directions and do damage that way. Now, to be honest, I couldn't really tell from the video in news how good that's gonna be. So again, this is just gonna be another thing where just gonna have to see it in action to really see how good it is. I don't know. We'll have to see, but I don't know. It wasn't obvious how powerful it was gonna be. It sounds interesting. Sounds like you can take advantage of it pretty nicely. So we'll see. All right. The second mode is the Haji mode? I don't know, but Evil Crusher, I guess, was the way to translate it. I saw, so that's the way I'm going to use it for now. If anybody can think of a better way to do it, let me know. But blast type, right? That's not a surprise for the second form. Super anti-warp, super mind, super L. Always good to see anti-magic circle. All element killer M on the main. And then we have anti-block. We have the anti-speed down panel for her in this form as well as strike shot turn boost. Now her shot skill is interesting as well, because this one will teleport the first hit friendly to your final position after you have finished moving. Again, this may be a hindrance, but it could be very useful in certain stages where you need to hit a friendly unit to power up or anything like that, where you're actually doing something that needs player-to-player action. So I'm not sure, but interesting shot skill nonetheless. But the assist skill applies a barrier on the start of each map. Now, I mean, we have seen more and more that, with a barrier, it actually kind of like hinders your progress on stages, right? Not getting the attack up, blast buff can actually hurt you. But in general, if it's like a barrier, you are getting plus 33% of your HP essentially, right? Because that barrier is proportional to that character's HP. So very, very, very strong, I think. And her strike shot here, all friendlies move with a grand command, right? You don't have to touch your friendlies, they just start moving. They get a power up for a set amount of turns, which also scales on the number of enemies killed. Now this has insane implications, I think, right? Because that multiplier for the getting, powered up for the amount of enemies you killed is pretty nice, and you're using a grand command in conjunction with that, you're gonna kill a lot of enemies unless you do it when it's empty, which doesn't make sense, right, for L here. And you get to keep that for a set amount of turns. I just think you're gonna be blowing past so many stages now, and this is someone that you got to set up to use early, right? Like, make sure you don't forget, don't have it waiting for you at the end of the stage. Make sure once it's ready to go, you got it going so that you can power up all your characters for that set amount of turns. Yeah, and what is interesting here is energy spark. It doesn't have a new next to it, but it is a very, very powerful bump combo based on, I forget which drop character had it to debut it, but don't forget, this is a blast character, so this is the first time we're seeing energy spark. I think this is the second time we're seeing energy spark in general, right? But we're seeing it in the blast form. I think the power output for this is going to be insane. So we'll see it in action soon, but ooh, I am interested to see it. Also has all enemy pierce splitting shots, which is pretty nice to begin with. So again, let's see her in action to see how broken she is. I think it's going to be quite insane. But what is also cool is that they have a special strike shot cut-in available for L. Starting with L, she has a special animation. Now, what is interesting here is how you get it. To unlock the special SS animation, you need to have a total box luck of 20 of L. Let's be clear about this. It's box total luck. So you do not need to fuse them together. It's just if you have 4 copies of L in your box, then this alternate, fancier, cut-in strike shot will be available. Now, I know some of you might be groaning, but don't worry. For the first appearance, if you are able to get just 1 copy of L, it will be unlocked for you. You do not need to get 4 copies. The moment you get an L on this New Year's gacha from January 1st to January 7th, get 1, it'll be unlocked for you. More reason than ever to make sure you get her on the debut. There's still a way to get it later, but it's just going to be a little bit tough because you do need 4 copies afterwards. But again, let me iterate, special for this New Year's edition of the gacha, it'll unlock with 1 copy. Now, if you are interested in the backstory for L, she has a special PV for her on YouTube that'll be updated in 2 sessions, once on the 29th, once on the 30th, so don't forget to watch that. It has special music by Yuzu, very popular as a duo, I think, right? Called Flowers, which was made specifically for L. And speaking of that, anytime you play a stage with L in your party, on the final battle, the BGM will switch over to Flowers. Nice. Music is always good. And if you like that music, as is every year, we'll have a countdown live with Monsoni. Starts at 23:05 Japan time, and then we'll count down with Monsoni music. Cool. Now, the other bonus things with the New Year's gacha is, of course, existing monsters with the New Year's theme, and you always see those nice Juushinka Kai true transcension. It's like I wish I had that alternate form. So if you don't want to miss out on that New Year's version of Abyss, I think this looks beautiful. Also beautiful Nail. Those two look great. Now, of course, the percentage chance for these New Year's versions are pretty low, so good luck trying to get them. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but the New Year's gacha again will start at midnight Japan time, exactly at midnight, and last until the 7th, which until the end of the day on the 7th, 23:59. Now, let me warn again for everybody, this is always the case that both Apple and the Google App Store will be hit hard on New Year's. Not only are all of us strikers hitting those individual Play stores with our account purchases, but all the other games in the world, probably specifically Japan, mainly Japan, but I guess the rest of the world too are doing things, will be having events on New Year's as well. And so all of those games are going to be hitting the servers really hard. So not only is Monster Strike going to be slow, but also the Google and Apple stores are also going to be slow. And then everything just comes to a crawl. That always happens. And be like, well, why don't they add more servers? It is not worth it for like the hour or two that is going to be, it's going to dissipating itself eventually so quickly. The remedy there is, if you are dead set on spending orbs, do it before the New Year's happens. Now, there is an interesting point that you do have the 200 orb set there. You see that red marker? That does refresh at the start of every month. If you haven't bought your December one yet, do it now. Get that in your bank, 200 orbs. That'll refresh on January 1st. You might want to wait a little bit, but you can still get that on January 1st as well for a pretty good price if you want to spend orbs. But that comes back to the original point. Just make sure you buy your orbs ahead of time if you are expecting to spend. It'll just make your life easier. You won't have to worry about double purchasing. The game will also lock you out if you try to like double purchase, right? For safety reasons. So you're gonna have to wait 30 minutes if you do end up in that state. So just, if you're in that much of a rush, do it ahead of time, all right? Now, if for those of you who have recently done a backup, you can now connect your Mixi ID with your either Apple email or your Google email, Gmail. That is now an option to do it right away. Love that seamless integration, make things super easy. Why not? Great integration added. If you have already a Gmail account, I think it'll already set it up for you, but pretty cool update. And if you haven't backed up the game yet, why don't you go do that? Pretty good to make sure you have that safety net just in case. Also important, they did have a link to the web shop to get a present. If you use the link in the news video, I have conveniently put a QR code here so you can take a shot there and go to the web store there. Log in with your Mixi ID, and then you can purchase this for $0, and it'll be connected to your account. This is huge. These are rare commodities. Make sure you do that. Take a screenshot or pause the video and use your camera to get a QR code snapped there. Go in there, get it. Now, this is important. If you have been lazy about backing up your account and you still have an X-Flag ID died a few versions ago. You need to make a new account with your Mixi ID. Alright? I guess if there's enough people who are having trouble, let me know and I'll do a quick video tutorial for that. But you will need to make a Mixi ID to do this. And missing out on 10 of these true transcension gems would be horrible. So please don't miss out on that. I think my voice is giving out, but I'm only halfway through. So like I said, we're going to swim through these quickly. New Year's events, old New Year's events will be in the library. We'll also get the very nice guaranteed Toko L berries, the exploding berries. Rotates one each day. Make sure you don't forget about that. You get to host one, but can join as many as you want. And then if you are interested in double library drops, the dates for that will rotate for each element there. when watching for commercials, you will be able to get 10 box space for each. You're guaranteed 10 box space if you watch the commercial. Don't forget that you can watch it once every 12 hours. That watching period resets at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. Japan time. Figure out what that is in your local time zone, and don't forget, getting 100 box space here is huge. Also, if you like to watch the item commercial, the chances of getting a rare item there is increased as well. Again, that resets at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily Japan time. Login presents will be buffed a little bit. You'll get these 2 orb tickets every day from the 29th through the 2nd. On New Year's Day, you'll also get some true Transcension gems, as well as a money Morling, whatever the turtle name was. And if you just want free box space period, all you need to do is log in on the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. 10 box space each day will be available for free just by logging in. And then we will also be getting a Oricon coin event. This is always the case, featuring the zodiac sign for the year. This time it is the year of the snake. So we've got Kinotomi Nyoron there in light. Pretty cute there. All the items that you can exchange for the Oro coins. Easy quest, farm it, exchange for coins, rinse and repeat. If you already max luck the last year's monster, you see that you can exchange for her again here. You can feed her another 99 luck to her to get an Ableberry badge. I don't know why you would. None of them are ever good, but you can. So, all right. Daily missions, easy to forget. But every day, if you are able to collect 2,000 Oro coins, you're able to get these rewards. They're pretty good rewards. The Guardian Beast fragments, hard to get. 5 orbs, really nice to get. Don't forget. We've got a new Reizetsu coming featuring Peguir. If you want to look at his stats, please take a look there. I mean, the percentage boost for the shot skill and assist skill is really nice. What's interesting to see is what's the multiplier bonus for the extra damage to the boss of stage, whether it's the mini boss, right, or the actual boss. That does apply there, but very interesting to see how that's going to change things. But pretty good utility there with Peguir here. Peguir will be debuting on January 2nd and probably going to be beat up by L, but we'll have to see how that works. Now, what is nice is they are going to have a special mission here with Peguir. If you can clear him once, you will be getting 10 copies, which means you can use him right away. Usually, you clear it, you get at most, right, 2 copies, right, I think, on your first clear, which means you have no chance of playing with that new Reizetsu quest monster you finish anytime soon. But for this, you clear it once, you'll get 10 copies. Now, this mission does last until the 5th of February. So even if you miss out on the first appearance of Peguir, you can still try again later. But this is an opportunity you should not miss out. Give it a try, especially if you have a bunch of friends who has L. Probably going to be the OP monster for this stage. And you can beat up Peguir right away. Now, once the collab ends, probably enough. Just a few days, right? After the New Year's event starts, we are going to get Weapons Volume 10. I am going to gloss over these stats kits. If you feel like you want to look at them, pause it and take a look at later, because I'm about to die with my voice. We got Adamas Harpy and Ansley. I think it's like a shield. New pack for that event. If you want one of those 3 monsters, you can buy this pack. You also get 50 orbs out of it, so maybe you use that for other reasons, I don't know, but pretty cool pack to get. But as is always the case with the New Year, that first event after the New Year, they know people are going to melt their orbs. You do have an opportunity to do a free single pull each day to get a chance for these new monsters. Again, 1 single pull for free each day, so don't miss out on that. Here are the event monsters, and then with the event you do get a guaranteed drop with 2 or more chests. So if you have a max luck monster, or maybe you have some other bonus that gives you a +1, great. You have 2 chests there at the end of the final screen. One of those is guaranteed to be the boss, which will make your life a little bit easier farming that up. Also to note is that Mikashiba, the invade quest, will be ending with that Weapons 10 quest. So if you are intent on max lucking Mikashiba here. Don't forget about it. If you just want to have one copy as a memento like I do, don't forget about that. And make sure you do that before it goes away forever. Here is the calendar up to the new year. Obviously, the biggest thing is to decide whether you do or do not want to spend those orbs on those gachas leading up to the new year. Like I said, probably the Rewind 2024 gacha is your best bet, but look at your box, look at your orb count to see what makes sense to you. Or, you know, the All-Star gacha always tempts me a little bit. I think I've flip-flopped on whether I do or do not want to pull on that year after year, but something to think about for you. And like I said, I will try to have a video out as soon as I see Shiro put his video out and, you know, absorb his suggestions so that I can translate it to you guys. And then after the New Year's hits, right, we've got L available to gacha. You see there's a lot of other things. Got the Aura Coin event going on. What's of note here is, of course, the Tower of Champions, Hashanoto. That will be available midway through the 7th, which means you do have some overlap between the tower coming and the Juushinka leaving. So if you do want to get that extra oomph of orbs, you do have a few hours there where you can farm it back up and try to spend your last chance to find L in your box. So, and I think that's it. Important to note that there is no news on the 2nd of January. That'd be pretty terrible if they did. We are going to have the next news on the 9th of January. So sit tight for that. And wow, 32 minutes. No wonder my voice is about to go. That's it for me today. Thank you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I will try to have a video up as soon as possible for the end of the year gachas, but my current suggestion right now, the Playback 2024 is your best bet. The others, look at your box and see if there's something you really want. Just know what you're getting into by pulling those gachas. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. ENG Monst on Twitter /X, Discord channel, description below. That's it.